Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific chat. I am back with Calvin Murray McCarthy as we discuss his latest project, hashtag Party Massacre, of which the Indiegogo campaign has just started yesterday. So, Calvin, as always, welcome back. Always great to have you on and riff and talk nonsense and
Yeah, yeah,
movies.
good to be back. I'm like a reoccurring guest now.
Yeah, it's getting that stage. I might have to give you a slot and
Yeah,
give you your own movie list.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I gotta have me on more. I love being on the show. I
Well, you know how it is. That it's always there. So
yeah,
But you're busy as well, so that's the thing though. You're always out and about and always projects on.
yeah. At least trying to be. Got a couple of projects going, but yeah, hashtag Party Massacre is kind of the big one that we're looking to raise funds with right now.
Yeah, so I'm not familiar with Cosmic Films. They're a new one. How did you tie up with those guys? And what's the sort of story behind it?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting situation with Cosmic. As you guys have probably known, I've worked with a number of different distributors over the last few years. Most notably, Breaking Glass. I've always had a
Oh yeah,
really, really
of course, you know.
yeah, had a great working relationship with them, and they had used Cranked Up TV. They kind of sub distributed some of my films through Cranked Up TV, and they ended up having a Seventh Street Productions and Calvin McCarthy category on their streaming website.
Hmm.
One of the other companies, kind of a newer company that Cranked Up TV had been acquiring films from, was this company called Cosmic Films. And I started just sort of looking into their library, the um, type of horror and sci-fi that they do is a little bit different than kind of what some of the other competitors have been doing. They do kind of more cosmic, Lovecraftian horror
Hmm.
films, and they also acquire shorts to distribute through places like Cranked Up TV. And I had just reached out to them because I, hadn't had any experience with them, and they're great people. Danny Takis is actually who I'm working with out at Cosmic Films, and immediately they were just very receptive and really wanted to figure out a way to do a project with us. And initially, when I reached out to them, I had a whole different project in mind to do with them. And hashtag Party Massacre, we realized that we could probably shoot the opening 10 minutes of the film, and that they would run a crowdfunding campaign to acquire the rest of the funds for the movie. So it just kind of snowballed after my kind of coming across their company and realizing that I hadn't had any interaction with them.
So Cranked Up TV, that's a subscription service similar to likes of Shutter, is it? Five
Yeah,
ninety nine a month. That's not too bad actually. 49.99 a year. So that's
yeah. Cranked Up TV is really
is
cool.
it?
They're run by really cool group of people, and anyone that has a Calvin McCarthy category on their streaming website is a friend of mine.
Yeah,
So
that's when you know you've got mates, and that's when you've got a whole they've actually given you a segment. You're like, oh right, okay, I better go have a look at it if you're being
but
featured. That's cool.
I do have Cranked Up TV. As a horror fan, they've got great content. So I mean, if you're looking for a good horror subscription service and you're looking for something that's kind of an alternative to something like Shutter, Cranked Up TV does have a lot of really good content.
I'll be honest, Shutter has disappointed me for a long time. I kind of went off them because there's just
Yeah,
nothing really inspiring.
I remember subscribing to them solely to watch a lot of Dario Argento movies that they had, and
Hmm.
now it kind of seems like there's a little more mainstream stuff that I'm not as interested in on Shutter.
Good. That's where I saw Dark Classic. Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was in Shutter. Yeah, because that's it obviously got it to specifically, to do reviews and have a
Right.
library, so find films to make videos on. Because I'm shit. Netflix is shit.
Two,
Boring. Oh god, Tubi's a dangerous channel. Yeah, I would even gotta go because that you could lose days in that channel. Oh my god.
I love Tubi. I love
Your
Tubi. What's that?
your stuff's on Tubi as well?
Yeah, yeah. Almost
Yeah,
all
well,
of our stuff is on Tubi. Yeah, and I think they just have a good catalog. They just have so much stuff. You've got a lot of really bad stuff, and you've got a lot of really good stuff, and it's fun kind of navigating through the
yeah,
channel.
yeah, there's some of them I've watched and I'm just like, "Oh my god, what is this?"
Mhm.
Some of that bad, I'm not even gonna review. It's like, "Nope."
Yep.
You'd switch off after 5, 10 minutes, you're like, "Nope, I'm done." Doesn't even make it on the shit list. You're like, "Nah, nah, 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 I can't do this." Especially, as you know, bad sound, bad audio quality cracks me up.
Yeah.
When you're hearing that all the way through the movie, you're like, "Nah, nah, nah, can't do it. Sorry."
Yeah. It's tough. Audio's tough. Audio's definitely tough. I
Oh,
definitely
yeah,
know.
even on this channel, I went through a period there of, like, 2 months, but I just couldn't get my audio right.
Yeah.
It was awful, and it was just, also the way I was recording the news articles, oh my god, I played it back and I'm like, "Ah, right, I'm done, right, delete the
Yeah.
video." Wouldn't even put it out because it was just something was going wrong. I use a different method now, and thankfully it's a lot better, but oh my god, when you get the sound wrong, that's it. Even with my own stuff, I won't put it out. I'm like, "Nah, done,
Yeah.
not playing." Rather not bother, rather just close the channel down and just put out horrible fucking stuff like that.
Right.
But, you, obviously, we've talked before, you're not really usually involved in the sorta crowdfunding thing,
No, not at all.
and this is actually a crowdfunding. I'll pop the site up here so people can have a wee look. Obviously, the link's in the description, folks, so yous can go straight away, and check it out. But yeah, I always try to explain to people, obviously, there's scam artists out there. It doesn't matter what you do, there's always the shyster. But
Of
how do
course.
you reassure people that A, it's not a scam, and B, that they're actually going to see a movie at the end of it? Because there's so many projects, especially like the gaming and stuff, where they're trying to fund something, the thing never comes to light. World where
Sure.
all of a sudden comics are not getting produced and things crowdfunded for 3 years, and then the money just somehow disappears and people still waiting for their stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that the biggest evidence that we have that that's not going to happen here is our track record. I mean, we've spent the last 6 years consistently producing over a dozen feature horror films for different distributors. This is something that we do. I'm very, very used to acquiring a low budget, having a due date for when the film needs to be out of post and getting the project done. Uh,
Mhm,
you know, we're not really a group that put together an Indiegogo and we're all straight out of film school and don't really understand how to get a film done and get distribution. And also, Cosmic Films is running this. They're facilitating this Indiegogo to get the film
mhm.
funded. They are a distribution company, so everything is already built in and ready to go. They wouldn't be partnering with us if we didn't have a proven track record.
Mhm.
Um,
And vice
we're
versa,
kind of
obviously, you've
Yeah, we're kind of the last group that would um, struggle to get a low budget film done. I mean,
mhm,
that's kind of our bread and butter at this point. You can give us the most hopeless budget, and we'll find a way to get you a finished project at the end of the day. Um, so I think that that's what gives us like a little bit of that extra credibility on Indiegogo. I mean, not to draw too much attention away from hashtag Party Massacre, but we're about to go shoot a project, a small project for Breaking Glass Pictures again
Mhm.
here soon. This is just something that we do, that we're experienced in shooting a low budget movie quick and getting it out. So
Mhm.
I can guarantee that this movie will get done. People will get their Blu-rays. People will get whatever it is that they paid for, and they'll be able to see their name in the credits. You know, by
Yep.
September. I'm assuming, maybe sooner. So this is that is the least of my worries with something like this.
Oh yeah,
Honestly.
but like I said, this is just purely to uh,
Oh,
I have
absolutely.
no qualms. You know, what I mean, it's just to let people know that if like there's always like anything, sometimes a perception can arise. And it just takes a couple of bad faith actors to create that perception of, oh God, crowdfunding, this went wrong, that went wrong. And usually when it's somebody more prominent, then the fallout like still goes on for years. Uh,
Absolutely.
I'll I'll use the comic book industry as one. I've seen lots of crowdfunding for comics and just not happened.
Yeah.
And people still waiting. And the person's still bold as brass, yapping away and slagging off other creators. You're like, sort your own eyes out first.
Yeah. I
Like
mean,
there's people like that out there, and they just tar. You know what I mean? They just give the whole thing a bad name. So I think it's important to highlight genuine folks, people that like I wouldn't sit and be as comfortable as this to plug it if I
yeah.
thought there was anything wrong. I know you produce the goods, mate. You know what I mean? So I have no problem putting
Yeah.
my name alongside and going, "Yep, I know you'll do it," and try and convince people.
Yeah. That's always my pitch is basically what
Mhm,
I said as well. That we have a proven track record for this kind of thing, and I know that Indiegogo has at times a bit of a negative connotation or stereotype to it because it is accessible to anybody. And
mhm,
and some of those instances, it's hard to even fault some of the creators because they're a lot of times I think you have film school students who kind of go, okay, this is an avenue to where I can make some money, and
mhm.
just not practiced enough in going through post production, and then what do you do with a movie once it's done? That's kind of all trial and error stuff that you kind of figure out along the way. Um, so I think that that's why you have a lot of projects like you're kind of talking about that just get so stuck in limbo. I've only been a part of really. I mean, I've worked on some other films that have gone through Indiegogo, but of one of my projects, the only other one that got some Indiegogo funding very early on was when we partnered with Video is the Future and we did an Indiegogo for Mutant Vampires from the planet Neptune.
Mhm.
And you know that movie came out and came out fairly quickly. So
Did you threaten people if they didn't shoot give you enough money that you wouldn't show your arse?
no, no,
Or was that one of the stretch goals?
no. In
You know
fact,
what I'm talking about. Well, I've seen it. We
they they basically, they they definitely didn't know. It wasn't in the script, that's for sure. So nobody knew that that was coming. But yeah, that was through Indiegogo, and that one went well. We raised a very small amount of money, just kind of some completion funds for the project.
It
Um,
all helps, doesn't it? Like
but
that's
um, So yeah, I mean, we're fairly practiced in this. Also, Real Fiction Studios, who's doing all of our effects, they
mhm,
did the wonderful killer costume, and Jason Brooks, who owns the company, is playing the killer. He's a great suit actor. He has a lot of experience with crowdfunding. He did the Friday the 13th Vengeance movies that were all crowdfunded. Um,
oh
he's
god,
Jason in those, so
that's something we'll have to talk about actually. This mask, right?
yeah.
Um, that picture does not do it justice. Even in the 10-minute intro,
Yeah,
you see that? Oh my god, that is one serious mask. Like I have to say, that blew me away. I was really impressed, and especially even with the glass, getting through. I know it was sugar glass, but still, I could
yeah,
imagine. I could imagine a proper glass smashing off that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? That is. There's some work with that. I have to say, it's not just your typical bag over the head type thing. Like,
Well, and that really is. I really got to give credit to Jason Brooks and Real Fiction Studios for that. In the script, in the original script, for me, it's really hard. Um, Sometimes with slashers to really think of the villain.
mhm,
For me, uh, I really had like the concept and was working on the characters and the dynamic and writing this kind of horror comedy and trying to make it funny and give it a lot of these little twists and turns. And really in the script, I just the I didn't know what I wanted to do with the killer. I just kept writing it as, a hulking figure. I think at one point I mentioned that it was, in some sort of jumpsuit, um, with like a military style gas mask or something.
mhm.
I never really went into detail at all. So Cosmic, when we started kind of putting all of this together and working with Real Fiction, there was a lot of confusion as to what the killer was going to look like. And they actually did some mock-ups of it, um, as like a World War I gas mask, kind of like the movie The Prowler.
Mhm.
And it was really Jason who said, "No, we got to do something interesting here. We got to do something different." And just because of the social media aspect, Jason went and he came up with two different designs. One of which was more of a blank, kind of like that. If you don't have a profile picture in your Facebook, more of like a
Mhm.
blank
Oh,
gray.
like almost like the outline type.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then this emoji face guy. And immediately we were like, oh, it's got to be the emoji face killer.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that was really all Jason who built this costume. I mean, this is 100% his design. He's absolutely flat out right. you know, Making it yellow so the blood stands out. I mean, it's really a cool, uh, a really really cool costume.
Yeah, I have to say, I wasn't expecting, especially with a teaser and like early concept and not the full formatted movie, to see that, and I'm like, wow, okay, I'm on board. I get this. There's a lot of work went in here, and even his movements, the way he was practicing the movements and all, I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah, this is somebody that knows what they're doing. They've thought about this.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, Jason, this is kind of Jason's forte. This is
Mhm.
Real Studios' forte. I typically don't do a ton of slasher films. I love slasher films. It's not my um, subgenre though that I make a lot of. You know, and Jason does. He works on a lot of slasher films. He's played a lot of slashers. Um, so just kind of having him to lean back on has been incredibly helpful. Like I said, for me, this the story. I do want to mention this. Originally, the story I was just kind of working on writing a couple of different projects, and a lot of times I just have YouTube up, and I'll watch people's reviews of kind of popular culture TV shows sometimes that
Mhm.
I'm not going to watch, but I just want to get the gist of what's in the popular culture. And I was watching this show here in America. I don't know if you guys have anything to do with this, but it's like the Secret Life of Mormon Housewives or something like that. And it's these
I've heard it ping up. I've never, no intention of watching it or anything else.
Not at all, but
Mm.
it's very popular, and it's just these like hot Mormon moms who dance on TikTok, and they get together and they do these um, social media influencer parties where they just all dance together on TikTok and stuff. And I thought, wow, what a like wonderfully fun concept for a slasher, for like a comedy slasher.
Hmm.
And was kind of working on that, and then quickly realized if I flew too close to the sun with the Mormon like TikTok mom thing, um, I might get a little bit in trouble, or it might be on the nose.
Either
So I
they'll dedicate 2 floors of their admin tower or
yeah,
admin tower just for you. Yeah,
yeah,
but the problem is when you start making fun of Mormons, you just can't stop. It's like a packet of
yeah,
Pringles. Like once you start, you're like, you go down that road, you're like, you thanks.
and I thought that maybe hitting the funny Mormon thing over and over and over again wouldn't be as much fun as if I took all these characters, and they do their own social media. They specialize in something different,
Hmm.
right? One does music, one does OnlyFans, one does fitness, one does makeup, and they decide to come together and do like some collaboration videos, which I guess really happen. And then more, there's more material there to work with to make it.
It sounds like the Big Brother house for influencers.
Yeah.
Um, there's 2 movies I'm thinking of. There's one called The Seed, which 3 influencers go to a house. They're friends though, and no, sorry, one owns an influencer, but they go to a house, and stuff. It's to watch. What was it for? Either a clips or a comment or something. But they use it as a weekend away. But they end up encountering this like turtle alien that takes over their bodies and minds. That sort of thing. There's another one called Deadstream,
Oh, okay.
where it's basically it's like found footage, and the like ghost hunter types, but he's doing it as a live stream, so he sets up all the live stream cameras everywhere,
Oh,
and he
nice.
really hams it up. The whole influencer, and overacted over nothing and stuff. They were 2 really good movies, and I enjoyed them, and I like the fact that it's taking current culture. What I mean? The whole influencer thing is like such a today thing.
Right.
I'm not too sure if the influencer has had its time and it's on the wane now. I think a lot of people have sort of got fed up with them.
Totally. Yeah, that was that was actually a little bit of a big question for me too, is am I a little late to the game to make fun of the influencer aspect? Um, but then I also kind of realize that that's just a vehicle for, kind of the kind of like disintegration of this like little group of
Mhm.
friends and stuff. And it's not like the main focal point either. So, and it gives them each at least their own funny little quirk, right? It gives them something that like they have their. You don't have to search very hard to figure out, what the personality of
Yeah,
the
actually, you've got them all. Yep, you've got
um,
them all listed here.
right. Yeah, it's got all the
Yep.
character descriptions.
A skilled cosmetic injector. Is that a Botox person?
Yes.
Is
Well,
that
and
a is that what they're called? Is that a Botoxin? Like, is that the one that creates the duck lips?
she could probably tell you, because all of these people, all of these actresses that that we've put together do work in some sort of social media that is close to what they're playing. Right?
Mhm.
These actresses also are fairly active in social media. Each one
That's
of them.
all good.
So
Okay.
they're kind of playing a very extrapolated version of themselves
Mhm.
almost.
Like, I know Jax obviously from
Right.
a lot of your films.
And and Jax
Do I know
really does.
Elisa? Have I seen her before? I think I've seen her before in some of your stuff. Or am I wrong?
Who's that?
Elisa Durand?
Oh yeah, Marissa has been and stuff.
Or is it right? I've seen, yeah. Not too sure of Naomi or Julie.
Naomi, she's been in our Conjuring the Cult. She's one of the witches. She's one of the goth witches. Jolie is new. I have not worked
Mhm.
with her yet. And she's also fairly popular social media influencer on Instagram.
All right, cool. So yeah, so they all bring something to the table, and
Yeah,
yeah, can just let loose for that. That is that handy? Does that make it? Obviously, you haven't done anything extensive in this day, but so far with the initial chats knowledge, are you finding it like really comfortable for them to slip into their roles? Is it are the conversations easy to have?
yeah, I think so, and I think that there's a fair amount of collaboration then that they can bring to it as well. You know, with them having some experience in actually being social media influencers, you know, and kind of playing an extrapolated version of themselves. You know, they can bring something to the character that may not be there in the script initially.
Hmm. All right, cool. No, that'll be interesting to see. And another thing you've done here, which I appreciate, is actually letting people know, like you're looking to raise $65,000, but you've actually, where is it down here? Yep, you've actually broke down the cost. Where
Yeah,
people seem to be reticent to talk about how much things cost. They think it's off-putting, to be honest, but I think it's important that people know that the world does it for free. You, if
yeah,
you do anything, it's going to cost money.
yeah, absolutely, and that's really just sort of a very small, um, obviously we could use a lot more. We're going to be
Mm,
really stretched in. The locations that we want to use are expensive. Special effects are expensive. Um, and yeah, kudos to the Cosmic Films for building this page and really breaking it down that way based on the budget sheets that I've given them. It's kind of like at a bare minimum, how how much is this movie going to cost? You
mhm.
know, and yeah, I mean the location that we that we want to use, that we'd prefer to use is insane too. So it's really great, and I think it'll look amazing on film.
No, fantastic. But that's me. Just having the crew, like you need people to shoot the film, you need people to operate the equipment. Like
Yeah,
that's if somebody does that for a job, you need to be paid. I I argue anyone to go and do a job for free and
yeah,
then see how your bills end up at the end of the month, just for the basics,
right. And
And
it's really time. I think
mhm.
that you can get people who might be apt to do something for cheap or for free for a couple of days for the
Yeah.
weekend, but when you're talking about, a 12-day, 13-day shoot straight,
Yeah, because
uh,
most of your shoots, like you said, you're well practiced in this, are about 2 weeks. I mean, we talked about that and we talked about post production, how quickly you can get something done.
yeah,
But that's 14 days. Say you did it for free. That's 14 days of you not earning towards your
it's
monthly bills. And unless you're independently wealthy, which most of us aren't,
like everyone
that's
needs something,
Mhm.
and yeah, if you were at home just driving Uber, you would be making enough money. So, I mean, we need to at least, I mean, that's kind of my benchmark is we got to at least try to pay people.
because that's a very modest amount for the cast.
Yeah, yeah, it
I mean,
is.
there's what a minimum of 6 or 7 actors.
Yep.
I mean, that's yeah.
Yeah. People are, luckily people are willing to do it. Um, just to get it done. And that's
Mhm.
why I say, our goal is 65. I mean, every dollar above that, the movie is just going to be that much better because we're going to have that much more time. People are going to be that much more comfortable being there. And people are more willing to go um, right harder and above and beyond when they feel like they're being taken care of.
Mhm.
So
Well, that's one thing you've got a track record of. I can even see from like we've had this discussion of like from the start. our first movie was all you, Haunting in Ravenhood, right on. You could actually see the bonds growing. You could see everyone get more comfortable with each other, like the same troop. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
I still liken you to an old school acting troupe with Seventh Street. You know, you've got
yeah,
your team, you've all worked together. You don't get that unless you've built up trust
yeah,
and look after people. If you treat people like shit, then they just go away and don't work with you again. You know, you get somebody maybe once, but then that's it. But to have like returning, even I recognize faces, and I'm an idiot when it comes to names and stuff.
yeah,
You know, what I mean, if I'm even recognizing people, going, I've seen you. You know, they're returning. You got to have something good on there. You got to be offering something that makes them come back.
yeah. I think it's mostly we have a lot of fun. We're very serious about what we do. You can't. There's no way you can make a low budget film without being serious. But at the same time, we all have a lot of fun with it. It's like Halloween every
Mhm.
day. And then I think as someone who's an actor, I started as an actor when I was a teenager. Um, a movie coming out is worth its weight in gold because as you've said, there's so many projects, especially as a young actor, or if you live in a certain area that just doesn't have a huge film industry, you do a lot of stuff and then it's just gone. It dies on a hard drive, or maybe it gets put on YouTube 2 years later.
Mhm.
So I do think that the fact that the movies come out, you can point to them. There's people in the UK who trash your movie on a podcast. I mean, that is worth something to an actor. I mean, you just want
Well,
to
it's
be.
being if something's being seen and reacted to, that you know what I mean, it's invoked something. If it's just forgotten about, or like I was mentioning, there's movies I've watched, I'm just like, nah, you
Yeah,
know, and that's it. Not even giving it another thought. So
yeah. Leaving an impression is really important. I think, especially to like an independent actor who's just trying to be seen. Hey, Chris.
yep, had to come back.
Always.
uh Gear and media as well. That's actually quite conservative as well.
Yeah,
Is that because you're using all of your own gear and stuff? You know, it's already paid for. You're not
yeah.
having
We
to
have.
rent as much.
I mean, honestly, with that, that'll probably go to buying a couple of hard drives that I can also, at the end of the day, just dedicate to this project specifically.
Hmm.
Uh, hard drive space, that is one of the most underrated problems that indie filmmakers face. Just hard drive space. These files are huge, and you want to keep projects around, or if you also do like video production work to also make a little bit of money in town, you've got to eat up hard drive space there as well. So, I mean, really, that's where you know that little budget is going towards. I mean, it's honestly probably going to be two SSD hard drives for
Hmm.
me to keep the footage.
But you know, once again, that's something maybe somebody hasn't even thought of.
Yeah,
That's why it's
yeah,
good to have these conversations. You know what I mean? If you are a film student, you happen to come across this, and you're just starting out, it's worth actually seeing how other people do things
right.
before you jump in. And I think we've talked about this before, but rather than trying to just immediately jump out on your own, be part of another project,
Yeah,
use your newfound talent and skills and get involved with somebody more established and then learn the ropes. You know, I think people are reticent today to go through what I would call the apprenticeship phase. Everyone wants to go straight out there and they won't do the time to learn the craft.
yeah. I no, I'm 100% agree. Luckily, I was able to start as an actor and see the other side of it. But really, yeah, I mean, there's like the two or three instances from when I was young working on an independent project, really, working on Cameron Devine's Dead Man Island,
Mhm.
and then also working with Jason Brooks on Vengeance. kind of seeing how an indie person with a lot of drive can really go for it, right? And watching, someone like Cameron Devine just kind of doing a lot of handheld stuff and kind of talking with his small crew about, oh, we only need to do this, we only need to do that, and really realizing, okay, you can do it yourself.
Mhm.
Uh, you can be experimental too. You don't have to concern yourself too much with always having the camera on the tripod. A little bit of shake only bugs you. It's not really going to bug the viewer. So I agree. I think that just getting out there and working, especially on other low budget productions, you're you're always gonna. It's only gonna make you better. It's like going to the open court and playing basketball with other kids who play basketball. You're gonna learn, or you're gonna see someone do a move that you would have never thought of before.
Mhm. Like I have similar conversations in the background with people that are starting up podcasts, and I see people get their heads in the weeds, about this production quality, that and that. I'm like,
Yeah,
get your first video out, just switch the
yeah,
thing on, talk, make sure you can talk for the amount of time, get your first video out. It'll be janky, it'll have mistakes, you'll stumble, you'll do this, that, but you need to do it. Just get over that hurdle. After that, it just becomes easier, and that's always a conversation I have is just the important thing is to finish the thing. Don't worry about perfection. And not everyone's going to like what you do. That's just a given.
yeah.
And
My dad is an artist, and he used to say, that you'll do 100 mediocre paintings before you ever do anything worthwhile. And what most artists miss is that they should just get those 100 mediocre paintings out of the way as
mhm,
soon as possible. Just start painting. And I think that there's a lot of truth to that. There's a lot of truth to that, especially in filmmaking. I can remember back in the day, before doing the stuff that got released through Breaking Glass. I mean, I did some stuff that was just shot on the weekends, these little feature films that were released by Kings of Horror and then Sterling Entertainment.
mhm,
And I can remember specifically, I mean, I won't name names, but I can remember some people who are kind of within my circle saying, well, don't you want it to like be perfect? Like, this is your feature. Shouldn't you care about that? I was like, no, not really. It's just going to get better. Like, I don't plan on this being, um,
the epitome, like your piece de
yeah.
resistance, like first out, because then you have nowhere to go.
And now, I've directed over, 15 feature films or whatever the number is. And they just get better incrementally. And you just have to know that over time, you get better and practice makes perfect. And you know that's why I can feel comfortable about partnering with Cosmic and doing an Indiegogo, because now I finishing the film and doing it at a good quality for the price and getting worldwide distribution is just something that at this point it's like a well-oiled machine for us. Like,
Mhm.
that's not even the hardest part. Feeding people is on set is way harder to
Because
me.
actually, if you think about it, half your budget, half the cast budget is on food.
Yeah,
But
that
what I mean, I've cooked for people. I know what it's like when you've got like 30 people trying to
it's
do a menu for like 4 or 5 days. It's oh,
it is
uh,
the hardest. It's one of the hardest aspects, honestly, for me as a producer. Making people that are fed well, because
mhm,
early on, right, you usually just give people pizza. Showing up with any food is usually good enough, and then you get far enough along, and people have dietary restrictions. People are getting older. People go, we need to, you know, not eat pizza 4 different times in
yep,
10 days. Um, and to me, that's always, a tough aspect. You got to get someone to cook. You got to get someone to really think about this stuff.
Was this a conversation we had on or off camera about actually even the type of food at the certain type of day affects productivity?
I don't know. I don't know if we
Was
had
that
that,
was that we
but
were sitting having the, we're hanging out and having the chat. I don't know how the conversation happened, but we're talking about like if you give people a really heavy lunch, that's it. You can wipe off an hour of production in the afternoon because everyone's sluggish. So you gotta that was something you were learning to balance. It's like, okay, light lunch, fruit in the table, stuff that people could just snack on, and then it just nice big evening meal.
yeah, yeah, and it's like, you know, really what you need, and the thing that we try to do is have someone whose job it is just to kind of cook, like have a den mother kind of
Hmm.
uh, like mom house, like this mom character who can kind of just worry about cooking for people and doing it for the budget.
Yeah, it's just just such a simple thing. Oh, I think Calvin's in there, and that's just went wibble.
Everybody's dietary
Back.
restricted.
Yeah, I think he just cut out there a wee minute.
But yeah, I would.
You're you're just making sure that everyone has their dietary requirements, and
Yeah, and
yeah.
being fed well and on time. It's a
Hmm.
very it's another one of those super underrated roles, and it's hard to find people in the film industry who want to do that role. You kind of have to find someone who's like going to a culinary school who wants to do that. But it's, that's a tough one. That's a really, you know, that's harder to me than getting the movie
You should
distributed.
look at
I can get
veterans.
what's that?
Look at military veterans,
Oh yeah, I
military
haven't worked
cooks.
it. Yeah, that's actually a great idea.
They can feed 500 people out of a tent
Yeah, that's
in
true.
the wet and do it the standard.
Oh,
So
that's a great idea.
there's an avenue you might want to look down. You
Yeah,
find someone that's been in
I'm
forces
I'm
as a chef.
I'm legit gonna write that down as a note. I need that as a note.
There
Yeah,
you go. We'll all help each other out here. Just random ideas.
no, that's a good idea. I'd always kind of looked at more like culinary students, or
Yeah, but they're all like trying to go fine dining and that. But sometimes you just need a good bit of stodge in a pot, big chili.
yeah, yep, exactly.
Sometimes a good all in does it.
Yep, just protein and filling.
Hmm.
Keep people going. Keep the machine going.
Yeah, there's one that's JSP 404, Joint Services Publication 404 in the UK, which is the Forces Catering Manual, which has every recipe under the sun. It's fucking that
Uh,
size. And you can cook stuff in a tent, in a kitchen, or in theater. You
yeah,
know what I mean? And it goes everything from how to boil an egg to making a sandwich, the 37 soup recipes. I mean, a whole section of soups and stuff. I'm sure Americans have a similar thing,
oh yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure.
but yeah, that might be just an avenue. Yeah, but it's all those silly little bits
Yeah,
that can trip me up. Just doing anything.
yeah, and that's exactly why the budget is where it is. Sort of at a bare minimum. This is
Hmm.
think we can do to put this movie out there, and
Well,
I think that Pillow Party Massacre had some production issues, which kind of made it the way that it was. But it seems to be like a fairly popular film,
we
and if a
liked that film, but we reviewed that. We liked that for the most part.
so yeah. And I think that, if a couple of things, if the location would have been the location that I wanted, if some of the effects were, if we were working with um, uh, Jason Brooks and Real Fiction Studios at the time, um, you know, I think that that movie would have been, so much better, and done
In fact,
so
it
much.
was funny because actually, just remember, John was in that, and we're like, "Yay, Captain Turtleneck returns!" Oh, he's
Yeah,
playing a
yeah,
cool character, and he's dead.
yeah. He gets
I was like, that was the review sweat, something like that there. Like, and he's dead.
Yeah, and that's kind of what this is. This is kind of me like returning to kind of do sort of that movie, or some, I don't do a lot of slashers, so doing a
Hmm.
slasher film that uh, do it like exactly the way that we want to do it. And like I said, Real Fiction Studios, they're so good at this kind of stuff, and they're so practiced in slasher films and suit work that um, I mean, you can already see from the intro just the big difference
I was
between.
obviously don't want to folks check out the 10-minute intro. Like even just something silly like a knife block, a kitchen knife block being used, to the imaginative aspect. I'm just like, oh yes, I get it. And just the like, how can you make a mask expression?
Yeah,
I'm like, how is he doing that? That's looking as if he's like actually smiling or being thoughtful. Why am I seeing facial expressions on a mask? You know,
Jason is so
there's a lot about
practical.
physicality, isn't there? If you can get physicality right with a character.
He's so good with that kind of stuff. I mean, that's why he was Jason Voorhees. He was also in the movie Diced that came out recently. He's
I haven't
the
seen that one yet.
in that movie. He's been in quite a bit of stuff. He's been our boogeyman the last couple of times
Mhm.
that we've worked with him. Yeah, he's so great with suit physicality, and then yeah, he also brings a level of uh, collaborativeness that really fits really well with our group of people. The kitchen block thing was something that wasn't in the script that I just said during um, a production meeting when I was building the shot list. And I said it was near Thanksgiving that,
Mhm.
and I said, oh, I just have this image of like putting her on a table and like carving her up like a Thanksgiving turkey. I don't know why I have that vision for this, like using the knife sharpener or something. And then from there, it just kind of um, we just kind of ran with it, and eventually it kind of turned into what it is. Just using every knife in the knife block.
Yeah, just having a go. And she was the one that tried to use the knife sharpener. That's the one
Yeah,
she pulled out. Yeah.
yeah,
I have to
and
say, I was genuinely impressed. There's a wee bit with some of the physical scenes. You're like, okay, right. Obviously, that's a tester. The cutaways and stuff. You're like, oh, okay, right. That's obviously has to be worked on. You can see that, but still, 10 minutes. I'm enjoying myself. You know what I mean? That's the main thing, and
yeah,
you can see the effort. Also, it's ah, no digital blood in sight, thankfully, and
yeah,
like to see practically even back to having sugar glass. You don't hardly see it anymore.
yeah. Well, and real fiction is so good with practical gore. So, I mean, in this one, really, the kills in the rest of the movie, we had to shoot this short, very, very bare bones.
But it
Very
works.
run. Yeah,
It works. That's the thing. If people want to see what they're going to get, that like, and this
yeah,
isn't me. Me, bit. I'm 100% down the line. If I wasn't feeling it, I'll tell you. But
yeah,
no, I was impressed. I'm like, oh yes, right, we've got something here, and especially the killer because that's uh Pillow Powered Massacre. That was one of the disappointments. Was the killer
yeah,
just didn't look at the shadows when it finally came to revealing stuff. I felt a bit, oh nah, wasn't
yeah.
100% on board with that.
Right.
A lot of times with not just your movies, but a lot of movies, sometimes they're trying too hard to emulate the big three or four. You know what I mean? What's already been seen. Maybe it's too difficult now to try and bring something new. But then I'm seeing this and I'm going, no, it's not.
Yeah, yeah. I
Like
mean,
even the scene with the guitar. You know what I mean? That's a cool scene.
yeah,
It's only what not even 10 seconds. You know what I mean? Just at the end, but it's a cool scene with the guitar. You can kind of see what's happening and almost get an insight what the killer's reveling in. It's
right. Yeah, and making him, not just a superhuman either. He's got a little bit of a sense of humor, and he also gets his ass kicked a little bit at times.
mm,
He's not invincible. And but the rest of the movie, it starts to really go into um, who the killer is and what he's doing. He's not
Hmm.
he's not Jason Voorhees, that's for sure. You
Yeah.
know, he's just a
That,
dude.
that's one thing. I'm my least favorite of the main slashers of Halloween because the right is Michael superhuman as a human,
Right.
and that last one, oh my god, Halloween Kills. He is superhuman. He's crushing people's heads like an egg with one hand, and then he goes up against Laurie Strode, and all of a sudden he's not powerful anymore. You know what I mean? It's like the Terminator 2, T-100 to T-1000 bashing each other through walls. You're like, what
Right.
the hell? And
Yeah.
that big budget, back by a major studio in the cinemas, everyone going to see, and they get stuff like that wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I do like some of the Halloweens though. I that's a guilty
Like,
pleasure.
it's my least favorite. You know what I mean, there's someone likes, someone don't like, but it's one like if I had a choice between any of the other ones, I'd flick them on first.
For sure, yeah, that's probably my least favorite of the slasher franchises. Now that I really don't like any of the new Halloween movies. I really didn't enjoy any of them, to be honest.
I'm not a fan of David Gordon Green. He can fuck
Yeah,
off.
no, yeah, not a fan.
I didn't
Okay.
even bother with Exorcist Believer because once I heard he was part of it, I'm like, nope, nah, nah.
No, I didn't even watch it. It just looked
No,
so.
as that once I heard his name and after Halloween Kills and that trilogy, I'm like, nah, nah, I'm out. Not even going to get annoyed. I'm just like, nope, done.
Yeah,
Not even giving a shitty review. Just and I've watched all the Exorcist movies and reviewed them, including
yeah,
those god awful Dominion and prequel and God.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. So
The-
let's have a look at the rewards. This is always cool thing. So the difference between just waiting for it to get released and getting in earlier, or there are some perks. Now, this is the thing I find frustrating about crowdfunding is unless you get in, you never see the bloody movie because a lot of them disappear into the film festival circuit and then never to be seen again. So unless you get in the now, you never see it. But you don't have that track record. This will be as much as we're asking people to get involved in this and back it. It is going to be available even after the crowdfunder. Isn't that right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Cosmic Films is running this Indiegogo campaign.
Hmm.
They are the distributor. So the real cool thing I think for me, and I think a real big perk is that Blu-ray that you get is the official release. That will
Hmm.
be Cosmic Films Blu-ray. They release Blu-rays of the films that they distribute. So I know that that's a temp photo, but these aren't going to be as far as I know, they're not going to be burn on demand
Hmm.
Blu-rays. They're gonna be from the distributor. So the movie, the minute that the movie is done, it will have distribution. It will go. It will be Tubi, Amazon, Blu-ray, and DVD. So that perk is the official Blu-ray release with the special features and the menus and everything.
Well, there's a nice one as well. Just for $10, a shout out. So if you're out there and you have a social media platform, if you're a horror fan, if you're a reviewer, why not? Like you'd spend that. I know for a fact, like, especially with my own publishing company. I spend 3 times that at least, like every couple of weeks in advertising.
Yeah,
So get your. It doesn't have to be your own name. You can get your channel. I'm sure. Shout it out.
yeah,
Do it as put it as a advertising expense. Get your channel a shout out, and then why not build a network? So that's a cool one, especially for the price. Like
yeah. Very easy to do too.
cost photo. The only thing does this have dimensions? No. Don't forget, this has just been released. They're probably still popular. Like yesterday, none of that stuff was on, so they're
Right.
literally populating the website as we're, getting
Yeah,
things finalized.
and I from what I imagine is it'll probably be the final poster.
So
It
it's
will
going to be
be.
movie poster size.
I think it'll be like normal, like movie poster size.
Oh, right,
Like
right, okay.
yeah. Whatever those dimensions are, what 11 by 17 or whatever that is,
Mhm.
something like that.
Yeah. Like I said, this wasn't on yesterday. It's just appeared today. That's why we're able to talk about it. And no,
Yeah,
well, you know what I mean. Here's what you have to understand as well. You put something up, and you're always working to getting all the little bits. Like I do it myself when I'm
yeah,
advertising stuff and all. I'm always like poking and putting extras on that because it takes a minute. Because you're busy, especially if you're a small concern. You're doing 100 jobs at once, and this is one aspect of it. But I'm sure the poster will appear. You'll see it, and get the dimensions on. With that's why they put the more info buttons on. I'm sure because you get the full thing once I get
yeah.
around to doing it.
Well, and Cosmic is always very attentive to people who are interested. So you can always leave a comment or message
Mhm.
through Indiegogo, and Danny and them will, I'm sure, get back to you very quickly.
I'll have to get them on. Tell them to drop me a message. We'll get them on and talk to them as well. Not just about this, but other projects. Special thanks credit. I've had a few of them in the time. In movies. And credits. Get your name up there.
Yeah,
Always a
it's
nice
always
one.
good.
Hmm?
Yeah, yeah. I said that's always a good one. Get your name in a movie.
Yep.
Pretty cheap.
That's it. And you're not just. I mean, you're then tied to the movie. You've.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've done that multiple times before. With when they rebooted Mystery Science Theater 3000, I
Mhm.
paid my name in the special thanks credits on an episode, just because it's fun.
Cool.
It's fun to have something to point to. Say,
Mhm.
I was involved with this.
The 12 by 18 poster, so that's a full size movie poster.
Yeah, yeah,
And then this is what we're talking about before we went live, just to make sure. But Blu-ray bonus is not just the release, but you're also offering Conjuring the Beyond.
yeah. On DVD,
Yep.
so Conjuring the Beyond on DVD. One of my earlier films, and maybe one that's maybe more popular, I suppose.
We have reviewed that on the channel as well. It's
Yeah, yeah.
that's one we've reviewed. That's the one in the asylum, isn't it? The sleep experiments.
Yeah, The Sleep Experiment.
Yep.
And then the other DVD is for Amityville Poltergeist, which is a very early film of mine.
Hmm.
First film that I ever shot on Black Magic, actually. It was a Black Magic 4K that I shot that movie on.
All right, cool. So you go get a wee bit of history as well.
Yeah.
Because they're are they being produced anymore, or was that? Will you tell me that you've basically got the entire stock now of those?
I think I have the entire stock now of both
So
of those.
once they're gone, sort of thing.
Oh, absolutely. I'm fairly sure of that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I have the remaining DVDs of both of these movies.
Yep. There you go. A wee bit of history, and then we've got T-shirt and Blu-ray.
Yeah, the t-shirts
What's that?
are
100.
cool.
Well, there's what, 30, $40 for the T-shirt straight away.
Yeah.
What's that? So that's exclusive T-shirt, Blu-ray plus special thanks. So you also get a shout out in social media as well.
Yeah, yeah. Or you
There you
get
go.
special things in the credits. You get your name in the
Oh,
credits.
so that's sorry. Let's go back to.
Yeah.
Oh, they haven't put credits, so I was thinking, oh, that's shout out, right? Okay. Oh, right. Okay. So that's 25. Right. So there's a bargain straight away because it's 60 for the Blu-ray on its own.
Right.
So there
Yeah.
you go. You get that on a T-shirt. Flip's sake, that's pays for itself. That's a good deal. And then if you really want to go get on board, these are the producer credits. That's when you actually
Right. Oh, right. Your
you
name
know
right in the
you're
opening.
you're, you're actually a part of the movie because once you start heavily invested, you're making the thing happen.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that those are always really popular too because you get your name right in the opening credits of the film. You know,
And
you
that goes in MDB as well, doesn't it?
oh yeah, all of these will. Even the special thanks ones will
Mm.
go on IMDb as well.
All right, okay. So if you're once again, this is all about networking as well, and supporting projects and building your own
Yeah,
base.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if especially if it's something that you're interested in getting uh, into working in film and working as a producer. I mean, this is a good way to get some extra credits under your belt as well to kind of build out your IMDb page. And if you have some experience being a producer on some indie films and you're in Ohio, this is a good way for you to also kind of donate some money, be a part of something, and then also build your own resume out. Fill it out a
Mhm.
little, especially with a movie that has built-in distribution. I mean, this is gonna come out. Your name will be attached to it. It will be seen. So it's pretty safe. Pretty safe bet, really.
Yeah, think of it like people will bet and invest and stuff, but if you're into films and if you're into making films happen and not
Yeah.
just sitting on the sidelines, you know what I mean? You're actually that's what you want to get into. Yeah, why? This is where filmmaking needs to go, I think. And I've been talking about this as a decentralization of movie making, not just having that dipshit area called Hollywood where all the arseholes go and they think they're at the only reason a film gets made is because they're there. This is part of the decentralization where individual projects build their own groups, smaller groups network, and maybe come together, but then go their own separate ways. It doesn't become this homogenous mess again. I think the sooner we move away from that and more into this, and then
Yeah.
people actually have a stake in the film that comes out,
Yeah.
I think,
Absolutely. Right. It just builds the community out, and I think kind of adding to your point with this project specifically, again, it's like you can't hit it home enough that it has built-in distribution with it. We have so much experience getting the movie out. If anyone is ever weary, which I'm sure there are people who are weary about buying or donating to get a credit, a larger credit on a crowdfunding film, and then worrying that it's not going to come out. I mean, this is something that it's already in place, right?
mhm.
Distribution's there, schedule's there, the team is practiced in getting it done. I mean, you know, this film
that
gets
was
funded,
a
your name will be in the credits.
that was a funny one actually. I didn't. I should have messaged you when this happened. There's an app I'm on called Slasher, which is a horror app for horror fans, right? Was it? It was Conjuring the Beyond. Oh my god, it was Conjuring the Beyond. They put it up as a thing. I don't. Is this AI created? Is this thing legit?
Oh, really? What?
Yeah, and I'm straight on the comments. Here's our review,
That's
right?
awesome.
And also, if you're interested, here's the sequel. Review that as well. Yeah,
I
and
gotta.
I mean, somebody had actually one of your movies out, and the thought it was AI or just a mock up poster, somebody pretending. I'm like,
Yeah,
no, it's an actual movie, and
that's
I was
fun.
glad that I don't know, I was happy that I was able to be in the position. Going, yeah, I know I know the director we've talked, and uh, yeah, it's a thing, and also there's a sequel, and yeah, we've talked about it, and
Yeah,
yeah, don't worry.
I love, as I've said before, and as you guys know, I like any review, man. I even like the bad reviews. For me, it's just all about making the movies and getting them seen,
Mm,
and leaving an impression. If somebody has fun with their friends watching like one of our older films, especially, and having you know a laugh with it, and they all kind of get together and drink beer and watch it, that makes me so happy. However the movie um leaves an impression is uh is so exciting for me. Doesn't matter to me how you're having fun with it, as long as you have fun with it.
yeah, that's it. But I love the fact that I'm trying to find it now. I'm gonna have to think it was a wee while ago. God, I should have screenshot that. But yeah, just that somebody wasn't too sure if it actually existed, and that's a funny thing actually with it. And this is where I get fed up. I'm trying to explain this to authors. Obviously, filmmakers, you get it. You know that you have to be collaborative. It's all about in person experience. It's all about getting out there. But one thing I've noticed when working with authors is that they think they can sit in the ivory tower and not do anything, and it just
Right.
happens. And they
Right.
don't have to get out and promote. They don't have to talk to people. Like it just somehow magically happens.
Right. Someone.
Would you like to share some thoughts on that? Because it has driven me to distraction. Even my latest submissions for Horrific Tales Volume 5, I had to do like a 20-minute here are my expectations video to
Yeah.
explain this time, which I've never had to do before. I've just put up, but it's just I just got so frustrated with that attitude, which
Yeah.
doesn't help.
I think that there's a little bit of that attitude sometimes in film as well. There's a little bit of this mentality of, oh, if I build it, they'll just come. That I'm so good at this, or this is such a good movie that I can just put it up on Vimeo and people are going to find it, and it's just not the case. You need a little bit of press, and sometimes, as the great Bela Lugosi once said, "There's no such thing as bad press. Even bad press can be good press for you. Any press is good press
Yeah,
for the
and
most."
just you have to take part. You can't be a bystander.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got to get out there and have fun with it, and you know, um, push people to review it, even if it's a bad review.
Uh, Come on, machine. God, this thing's slow. That's our thing. I need to keep. People say, "Would you not crowdfund?" I need a higher res computer. I blew my
Yeah.
other computer up, and I'm using this thing. And yeah,
Oh,
this showed up my
Steve.
FB feed. I'm so tired of being trolled by AI. Is this real?
Wow. Wow, and that's our temp poster too. That's not even the official poster. No, and it was not created with AI because you can see where the
No, but you know why
image
there's
is.
that many fake. No, but you know why there's that many fake movie posters out now, and they're
Yeah, believe it
yeah,
or not, yeah, it's not only is it not a fake movie poster, it was not even made with AI. It was made with Photoshop. You can see where the wall kind of warps
yeah,
and then
it's been turned upside. Yeah,
mirrors.
being a Photoshop person myself, we
Yep,
have. Yeah, yeah. So, like I said, I was so happy just to be able to go. Yep, it exists. Here's the sequel too. Check them out.
yep.
Debugged. Always
That's
happy to
so
be of
funny.
service.
I need to get a slasher account
I
because
should have. I don't know why I didn't screenshot that and show you it straight away, but it was.
that's awesome. That's so funny. But yeah, some of the other really cool perks. I guess I should have prepared a little bit better for this. But some of the other really cool
Yeah.
perks that are available are, you can play a victim in the film. There's a couple of smaller roles, so you can
Oh,
get,
there you go. 1,500. Yep.
yeah, you can get eviscerated by Jason Brooks and the Real Fiction
Hmm.
Studio team, which will be nice and bloody. And I always tell people, be careful what you wish for. Some people really want the bloody stuff, and we'll do it to you. So, um,
Hmm.
but those are some really cool perks. Obviously, different levels of producer perks. The
Yep.
one that,
There's executive producer.
yeah, it's funny. The one that I really wanted them to put in, and I wonder if they will, is something that I've always joked about if I was going to have a Indiegogo, and for like half of the budget, if you paid for like half of the budget, I will send you a notarized document making you the owner of my soul. I've always wanted to do that, and I said they should do that. It hasn't been put up yet. Maybe it still will, but yeah, if you pay for the project, I will get you a document making you the owner of my soul, for
Just
sure.
to drop just the full budget. There you go. Bump.
Yep,
That's
boom.
like a only one backer.
Yep, one backer. If you do half, if you do half, I will send you a
Mhm.
document. You're the owner of my soul. And if it doesn't get put up on the perks, if anybody hears this and wants to do that, um, I will make sure that happens. You can message me. I will get you. I will get you that document.
So I like the fact as well. This is something people shy away from on crowdfunding because it always wants to be positive, not. But
Yeah,
these guys are straight out saying, yeah, there are risks. Like anything, a meteor could land, a bus could crash, fire, 100 things. That's life.
yeah,
Um, while principal photography is complete, post production timelines can shift due to editing, sound design, visual effect, blah 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 blah. So they're just saying that you may not get the exact delivery. The aim is obviously get it done, get it right,
yeah. You
and
know,
get it out to people. But
luckily for us, we haven't worked with Cosmic before, but luckily for us, that is something that Seventh Street Productions and Real Fiction Studios um, has such a long and extensive track record in doing. I mean, I get hired to do that for other small production companies now to kind of
mhm,
over their post production and get it done on time when a distributor needs it. That's just something that is kind of bread and butter to us. Obviously, right? Things can happen. You knock on wood, but um, that's always that's like a least concern of mine as of now.
mhm.
Not wood, but yeah, obviously things can happen. We could the grid could go down.
Well, there's something that happened to me actually. Talking about physical rewards, there's something that happened to me, uh, with Horrific Tales Volume 4. I, when the authors sign on, and they get accepted, I always post them out a physical copy book as part of the,
Yeah,
payment. I had Horrific Tales Volume 4 done, second week of December. Straight away, once it was all finalized, I checked my copy. Middle of December, boom, everyone got their copies ordered. Then the printing company decided to go Wibble, and people weren't getting their books until flipping mid January,
yeah,
some near the end of January, and that was something completely out of my control. And you have receipts. You're like, look, I've ordered it. I haven't messed about. Ordered date. Straight
yeah,
away. Everyone ordered at the same time. Here's the tracking info. Here's what's happening. You know, I was updating people. And people were cool, but I was near driven to distraction.
yeah,
I was ready for the nut house. I was like, I'm so embarrassed. I feel like a dick. Beat myself up. And that was something it wasn't something I just, I'll send it next week. Oh, I'll do it now. You know what I mean? It was on the money, done straight away, and then something completely out of my control. And I was mortified, because I felt like I'd let everybody down.
yeah. Yeah, that's always a tough one, especially things like that. They're out of your control.
So these things do happens to anybody. I was
Yeah,
lucky enough. I had the track record of three previous books, all done. At the time, and enough people got involved who had been involved in other ones. So I had once again, it's all building up that reputation, is it, and track record
right.
and dependability. And when you have that, you're very. I'm sure you can agree. When you have that reputation, you guard that. You don't want to lose it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and that's why
So
it's
to not fulfill this
yeah,
reputationally for yourself, you'd be like, "Nah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to risk."
and making sure that you're just transparent too about anything that could go wrong. As you were saying, making sure people get the tracking, people get proof that um, that the reward was sent out. Making sure that we're always transparent with people and making sure they know, oh, this is a U.S. Postal Service issue. This is not us.
Mhm. And obviously doing everything. That's an interesting one actually because obviously you've got one of the perks is to actually play a victim in the film.
Right. Yeah.
However, people need to understand it's a business, it's a movie set. There's a tight schedule to get this thing done. So if you're
Right.
told to be there on a particular day, that's on you to be there. I mean, if you get that reward, be on time. It's not you turn up 5 hours late and expect the thing to happen.
Right. Yeah. And luckily, I've been a part of a few projects that have done that. Mutant Vampires did that as well. It's always gone really well, and those people are always really excited to be a part of the project. But yeah, making sure that you're there on time and you're ready to go. And I think especially playing a victim, being aware that you're going to get messy, and makeup
Bring
is
change of clothes.
yeah, yeah. Makeup is a tough one, especially special effects makeup. So
What are the expectations? So I'm I'm expecting obviously people who are going to go for that perk aren't actors. They're not. They've maybe never worked on a film set before, and this might be their first time.
yeah,
What are the expectations of them, or what should they understand? Like I said, be there on time, be ready. But in terms of behavior and uh, what would be a major etiquette breach, for example, on set for maybe an outsider would not understand coming onto a production?
I think a big one is making sure that you are not taking a lot of photos without certain people's consent, especially actors, especially if it's a scene where, let's just say, for example, in the script, there are scenes with the influencer girls and they're like in a hot tub. We
Hmm.
don't want a lot of people kind of standing around gawking. We don't want people taking a lot of photos. We don't want, a ton of spoilers being posted to Facebook right away. That's an etiquette breach for sure.
Hmm.
Obviously, substances like don't drink on set. Don't treat it like a party environment. Be respectful of everybody's um, time and work. Um, for us though, we're a very friendly, very easygoing, kind of fun-loving group. So to me, you have to try pretty hard um, to really upset someone in our group.
Hmm.
And I think the big way of doing that would just be, yeah, don't take pictures of actors or actresses in certain situations. Don't post a bunch of photos of them. Don't talk obviously while we're shooting.
Hmm.
Don't wander around because you'll get hurt. I mean, that's less of a etiquette breach that's going to upset anyone, and it's more that you'll have Tim or myself or even Jason saying, "Hey, you might get hurt if you knock this light stand over."
Yep.
Um,
So just common sense, but obviously
yeah,
people may not. Like I said, if somebody has never been to work in film set before,
yeah,
and that may not mean any harm, but
yeah.
these are things that be aware. You're getting into a working environment,
You know, we
so
we always tell people, we've worked with film school students before. Sometimes we'll
mhm,
get film school students to come in and be production assistants for us to get like college credit. And I mean, for us, the, the number one thing that we always tell people is just just be a chill person. As long as you're like, pretty chill and relaxed, and aren't too loud, aren't too in your face, aren't taking photos every 10 seconds or trying to stand right there. As long as you're just hanging out with us and just kind of, assimilate to the group and the overall mood and feel of the group, you'll be just fine. And
mhm,
everybody will love you. We don't um, we're not an overly strict group. It's mostly common sense stuff for us. And be friendly and be on time and be ready to work and have a good attitude. And yeah, yeah, there's very few things I think for us that you could really do to make
mhm.
us upset.
Yeah, but like I said, sometimes it's worth just having the conversation,
Mm,
and manage people's expectations of they're
Uh,
not just coming in to go, "Rah," run about like a lunatic. It's like you're getting into a working environment. It's going to be fun, yes, but people are trying to put a movie out. Do not hamper it. Don't mess about. Don't hold it. As before I discussed, the production on these is very tight. The
yes,
time scale. So anything it puts back a time scale, even by an hour, is going to boom, 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 boom.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just staying focused too. That's just a big one. Just kind of being focused on the task at hand and be ready for your scene.
Right, and then obviously anybody's interested about refunds, cancellation, it's all there, what to do.
Yep.
So, yep. Just, I would say to anybody, if just read over what's being offered and what it's all laid out there. And if you've got questions, ask. Like, there's comment section there at the bottom. Yep.
Yeah, I think there's a
I'm not signed in, so you have to be signed in. You have to have an account and signed in to get to see that bit.
no, I think it's there's
Probably.
the top there. If you look
Is
right
it?
up on the
Uh,
banner, you can see it right there. Comments. So there's project, rewards, your pledge, and comments. You see that?
Comparable rewards. What's
Go go all the way to the top of the page.
all the way to
You
the top right? Okay.
you don't have to scroll.
Oh, right. So I see it. Oh, across the top right menu. Right, let's go. Maybe not yet. A couple of backers already. Oh yeah, you have to log in. Yep.
Yep, but you can
Yeah, you
leave
have
a
to. Yep. Yeah. So it's a free. That's like any social media. You know what I mean? To
yeah.
there you go. Yeah, it's all there. And like I said, if you're that's something a lot of films I've noticed with backing do not offer you a 10-minute preview. So
Right.
you can actually go and check it out and get the idea. And like I said, I was impressed. I'm a miserable little bastard. You know what I mean?
Good.
I
Good.
was happy.
But
I'm a mellowing in my old age. Is that what's happening here?
yeah, I'm excited for people to watch it. I'm excited for people to get involved.
The idea of hanging out with friends, making movies together sounded so much fun. But is it hard to criticize their performance when justified?
No, because what we're doing is very serious, and all of my friends do work in the film industry. I mean, all of my friends are actors, right? All of these actors have
Mhm.
agents, and they work on other films. Everybody goes out for auditions, um, and gets direction. So it's funny. It's actually easier for me to have a good relationship with someone and and direct them or critique their scene. It's a lot easier for me if I have a good relationship with them. I think the closer you are to me, the harsher I'll be on you as an actor, because we have that type of relationship, and odds are we've
Mhm.
worked together enough times, or we've worked together on other productions. Um, when you get a new actor, it's actually, especially as a director or even as a fellow actor, it's hard to kind of suss out how you have to treat that person because everybody's different. There are
Mhm.
certain actors who I still work with, without not naming any names, but I have to approach differently. You kind of have to treat them softer. You have to say things like, "That's great. Why don't we try this?" You kind of have to use a little bit more kitty gloves with, and then somebody like Arissa, who I've known forever and have worked with enough. I
Mhm.
mean, just straight up say, "Yeah, that scene was awful. You didn't sound genuine. I need you to, you know, really get serious about doing this scene. We just need to do all of that again. You know, you need to be more courageous about letting it out because I've worked with her enough, and I know that she can do it. So I don't really have to mince words with
Mhm.
somebody who I've worked with uh, so frequently. So it's
No,
actually
that's
easy.
it's like me with this. Like if I have somebody new coming on, I'm all I'm feeling them out and how to talk to them, etc. And uh, the way to go. But then someone's been on 5 or 6 times. It's just a chat. You know, what I mean, it's not even a thing. You know, you sort of get to know. It's
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, like, what will and won't, hurt someone's feelings or cause
mhm.
them to shut down,
Or sense of humor. Joke might land well with one person and not with another, or way
right.
it comes across. Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. It's just experience and working with
Yeah,
people and
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, getting to know 'em. No, and at the end of the day, I suppose that if everyone's on the same page of want to get this thing done and want to do it right and do the best possible, then you're on board.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's why I like working with, a lot of the same people and a lot of the same team. Not only
Mm,
is it, because the industry around here is smaller, but because, when you're all practiced and kind of that well-oiled machine, you sort of know what to expect going into the shoot every time, and
mhm.
luckily for us, we have a pretty nice size pool of different actors, and we always make sure that we bring in some new people, but it's always important for me to have a couple of those um, ringers to kind of come in as actors and go, I know I don't have to worry about you. I've worked with you before. Um, so, all of my worry can go towards, the newer people. And I know exactly what I'm going to get from, somebody like Steve Larkin or
Yeah,
John Meg. I know what I'm going to get. I know how he's going to be, how he's going to conduct himself. And it makes it like there's just an aspect of the team then that I feel like I can fall back on because I know them so well.
cool. Oh, yeah, but we're talking about that because we've started looking at the scary movies because obviously we want to get them covered before six comes out. But yeah, comedy died. I think comedy became illegal for a while. Still is. Like there's people will jump down your throat if the instead of just going, "Nah, I don't find that funny." It's like, "I'm offended. I'm going to cancel you." But
Right.
you have always mentioned about your sense of humor coming out, and actually one of the things was trying to rein it in when you're making a movie. But have you ever thought of just going like a full spoof movie, lampooning uh, the genre, or is that not in your wheelhouse?
I definitely have. I mean, it's always something that we toy around with. I think that we've gotten close a couple of times. Already I feel like mostly what I make, especially at this budget level, obviously I have other projects and other aspirations that I really want to do. But at this budget level, everything is sort of pulpy anyway, right?
Hmm.
All of our films are kind of comic booky, kind of pulpy, kind of tongue in cheek. So
Like the
I,
opening dialogue with these two characters at the beginning,
yeah, exactly.
you can see that sort of
So I feel like I get to scratch that comedy bug pretty often because then we end up making right the Lizzie Borden game or the opening to this movie that is, mostly tongue in cheek, over the top. We're kind of dealing with something that's a little ridiculous and Tales from the Crypt esque. So I
mhm.
feel like I get to itch that comedy bug quite a bit, and you know, especially on set when we're doing it, we're all laughing a lot and having fun. So to us, it definitely feels a lot of these films feel like a spoof movie in a sense. I think that even though A Haunting in Ravenwood, the first one that you guys reviewed, even though
Mhm.
it's played serious, it's played very, very straight. It's trying to be like a 50s ghost movie. We were laughing so much on set with how we were treating the Gregory Garden character. I mean, my assistant camera operator and I,
It's
Eric
them,
Shebach,
yep.
we were just dying laughing while we were shooting those scenes. Um, so I feel like I feel like we get a little bit of best of both worlds.
If you tried to do full lampoon, would it possibly go too seriously? Like, or try to make a serious comedy here, and it might ruin the vibe.
I think, yeah, I think that I am, since I'm not, I just don't feel as well versed in comedy,
Mhm.
uh, or I don't consider myself to be that funny, or I don't necessarily, I I feel like I'm good at writing things that are like extrapolated or over the top, but I worry that if I tried to make a straight up comedy, that it just would not be funny. That that I would miss the mark. That sometimes I
Mhm.
think the funny stuff just kind of comes from, organically having fun with it on set. And that's why I think a lot of our films, I think, are kind of borderline comedies. Like Revenge of the Boogeyman, I think is it very much to me feels like a comedy.
Mhm.
This kind of feels like a comedy. Um, you know, and really they just kind of end up being a little bit of a hybrid or something that's just having
Maybe
fun.
just a bit of a sense of humor to it, because that's even the stuff we do here. Like, there's a sense of humor to it, but we don't try to be out and out comedy. Because I have tried that with shorts and all. I've tried scripting a few shorts and messed about. I played it back and went, nope,
Yeah,
delete. Never,
it
never seeing the light of day. That is awful. What are you thinking, you idiot? Fucking,
yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? Dude, you can't hit the delete button fast enough. You're like, fucking disappear from the world. Go away. That was shit. How
yeah,
dare you?
it's hard. And
Mm,
doing we kind of just have that sweet spot with doing kind of these pulpy uh films, to where it's a little funny, it's a little scary, it's gory, it's colorful, you know, um, and it's something that's made to kind of have fun with.
fantastic. All right, mate. I suppose just to wrap it up, when do you expect this to come out? What's the sort of timeline?
Yeah, so they're running a 2-month campaign. That would mean that we would shoot in summer, and we'll probably come out in late summer, early fall, or kind of that September-ish time. You know,
Mm,
uh, Things are always subject to change. Like I said, I'm shooting another small project, really small project, um, for Breaking Glass here soon, and then obviously I want to shout out Late Bloomer. I know that that's not the subject of this video, but
mhm.
anybody who hears this and is interested, please look up the film Late Bloomer. There's some articles out there about it. Calvin McCarthy and Late Bloomer. Our script went to Cannes. I actually got to meet Colin in person in the UK because I was traveling around working on that film, which is a
Yep.
much bigger budget film.
Obviously,
Uh,
I've kept stimming that, not to release anything before. I know talks are still going ahead. I've been like,
yeah, no,
'cause I was interested in being part of those initial discussions from storyboard. That was like, oh right, okay, this is how it begins. I'm
yeah,
like, all right, and that then it's going to become a movie, and obviously we've got talks about me popping up and setting up interviews, and just
it's such a
lurking
bigger
as
such a
yep,
bigger production and so many moving parts to it too that it obviously just takes more time to get something like that um, moving and get the whole ground floor built. But that's something that I definitely want to keep plugging. And yeah, if you're a fan of Collins, he'll be involved with that as well.
oh yeah,
Um,
like I
and
said, early days,
yeah,
where but that will be interesting. That'll be a new thing for the channel as well. Like,
yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Hopefully,
yep.
get to come back out to the UK here fairly soon. I don't know. We were kind of talking about it, but hashtag Party Massacre. In the meantime,
Oh
is
yes.
what we want to shoot this summer. It's a perfect summer slasher movie. It's got everything. It's got cool killer. It's got blood. It's got hot girls. It's funny. It's gory. Um, and got an amazing team
That
behind.
costume, I'm 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 sold on the costume alone. Like honestly, that was me sold. When I
Yep.
saw that, I'm like, yes, I'm on board.
Yep, Real Fiction Studios doing a fantastic job with the costume, and they do great gore effects. So I mean, you can uh, if nothing else, you're gonna have a cool killer and some cool gore effects in this movie. And it's got built-in distribution. Cosmic Films, they're great. They're kind of an up and coming distribution company that they're fantastic. So
Of course, 7th Street,
and
proven
Seven,
track record.
yep,
Things get done.
yep, tried and true. We're just
Yep.
the old battle axe.
Fantastic. All right, mate. Always good to just hang out and chat, even if we don't have to have a reason, you know what I mean? But that's a very good one to get on board with. Thanks for letting me know about it. And just see, obviously, folks, links in the description. Go check it out. Thanks for everyone for turning up the chat. And see if you guys lurking, I see is up there. Come and say hello.
Yeah,
That's what the chat's for. You don't have to hide in the shadows. Come and we do talk back and include you in the conversation.
yeah, yeah. And
And super chats are available now. Just letting you know if you want to support the channel,
absolutely. And
but
add us on Facebook too. Seventh Street Productions. Follow Colin as well on Facebook and socials. And yeah, that's a good way to interact with me as well. And I'm sure Colin. I think he
yep.
answers on social media.
Oh yeah, I'm terrible at it. It's just like I went through all my comments and
Yeah,
like I can have 3 videos made by now. What the hell? you know. But yeah, always great. Best thing's actually when I'm here. I'm not a forum person. So if you want to talk to me, the live chat's the best place because
yeah,
I'm straight away. I'm in the zone, and I don't feel like I'm taking time away from actually putting stuff out there. That's just the way my brain works. But yep, always happy to talk to people. Our email address, all that good stuff, and I'll share more information about Calvin in the description. But there you go. Until next time, keep up to date with the channel, do the type of clicky things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.